Hey, everybody, and welcome to Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. My name is Jan Harris, and I'm honored to serve as the superintendent of Dade County Schools, home of the Wolverines. And we're glad and especially honored to have our police chief here today, Christy Smith.
Glad to be here.
And Officer Chad from the Sheriff's Department, here to talk about school safety and to bring an update to everybody at home watching today. You know, I think everybody in America is talking about school safety. Every time you turn on the television, it seems like there's a negative story about, gun control and violent episodes that are happening, like in schools or in public places. Mm-hmm. And do you feel like that's the number one thing?
Well, I think that that's one of our main concerns, but I also think that there's just a negative light that's been, out there. Yes, it is a very serious problem, but I think that it's not happening as often as it seems to be, so that it is on TV anyway.
Right. How about you, Officer Chad?
I agree with Chief Smith. I think what she said was on point as far as how most of us feel in law enforcement.
Well, after the Parkland, Florida shooting incident, I know that a number of parents contacted me, and I know, both of your offices as well. And then we had a couple of incidences at the high school, that made people very uneasy thinking about our own situation in small town America. And I've heard people say, that schools mirror society. So it really doesn't matter if you're in a big city or a small town. It's important to have, practices in place, safety plans, emergency plans, and to monitor those situations. We can't become complacent just because we're in a small town and a safe, I think it's a very safe place, to live. But one thing I really appreciated was immediately after a student incident occurs, both of your offices are so available. I know that Sheriff Cross and Chief Smith and we will text each other about student concerns, and we were doing that, about some of these issues. And I believe y'all have made some home visits when we think that students are talking about, bringing a weapon or even talking about violence.
Yes. I love that we do have the small town just because the communication is so easily done, and we work so well as a team. We can contact each other by cell phone if there's just a smallest question. I don't think I've ever not gotten a return call from you or just a return text saying I can call you later. But I think the communication is key, and being a small town, we still take everything seriously. Those same things can happen here, but I think our response to it is even better just because we are so tight-knit.
Right.
So I think that is an advantage of ours, being small.
I've only been here for about a year and a half, and I started in at this department as an SRO. And I came from a city police department on the other side of the mountain, and the difference in how we communicate here as opposed to how communication was done over there, with our city communicating with the school system, there wasn't a whole lot of communication there. If something happened, they would call us, But as far as here, it's amazing. And people don't understand how close-knit and how tight all of us are and how much we communicate with each other. And it's really a blessing. I mean, it's an absolute blessing that we can talk to each other. And like you said, I've texted you before, you text me. That's the beauty of what we have going on over here, and it works really well.
Yes, it's a wonderful place to work and to live in Dade County, and to have that connection and to know the people. And, we held a special event, for the parents, and it was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing. We just wanted to have some FaceTime with parents who wanted to come and express their concerns or pose questions for the authorities, and every one of us was there, and we tried to schedule it so it was kind of in between, the day activities and night. And, You know, the parents, they talked a lot about having more police presence in the schools. And I know that y'all have been in the schools a lot more since
Yes.
then.
I just had one of my city officers who is, working inside the school just on his off days, and he said a small boy came up to him yesterday and said, "Are you going to be here tomorrow?" And he said, "Buddy, I can't be here tomorrow. I have to work." And he said, "Oh man, you're going to miss." And he had some event going on today. So the interaction just with students and our officers and getting that connection, it's just been wonderful for my guys. They're actually really enjoying it, and we love to know that somebody's there all the time, and we're walking through to make sure that, periodically we may just drop in at different times. So we love doing that.
Well, we're so glad to have y'all there, and we've got a strong board of education, and they immediately approved putting police officers, deputies in every school. We had 2 SROs, and so now we have 2 SROs, and we have an officer at each school every day, pretty much, unless they get pulled away. So we've doubled the police presence in our schools in the last, we put them in the week before spring break, wasn't it?
That's
Yes.
right.
And so that's been a real blessing. And they're telling you that they're enjoying it as well.
Yes, they are. I get texts from them during the day about things that happened that are positive. The children speaking with them or high-fiving them or asking them questions. So not only are they there for their protection, but just the interaction has been a real blessing for some of my guys. I think just something different than what they're normally seeing every day. I think it's actually been very helpful for them just as much as the students. So.
And I want to echo off what Chief Smith is saying. I was just sitting here thinking, not only is it good for the schools and the students and everything else, but it's also good for our officers, because being a road deputy and being an SRO are 2 totally different things. They're 2 totally different atmospheres. They're 2 totally different forms of policing, but they both have their benefits. But I'm kind of partial now, because I spent 10 years on the road. I'm partial now to where I would rather be in the school, because I love it so much. And the experience that you get out of a school is a whole lot different than the experience you get out of a road. And it makes you a better officer. The more experiences you can get, the better officer you're going to be.
Right.
So it's giving these officers a chance to get in there and see and learn and do things with the kids. And it's just an all-around good thing. I mean, it's just an all-around good thing.
Well, I think it's good for students to see the law enforcement present at their events, and to know that, officers are good people. That's a positive thing. And we don't tell our, police and deputies, how much we appreciate them and having the protection that you offer. And y'all put your life on the line every day, for our benefit. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate you saying that. It's nice to hear that every
It
once
is
in a
nice.
while.
For everybody at home, I just want to say that having emergency plans, that's nothing new. I think every school in America has an emergency plan, and that includes things like fire drills. I was at the middle school today, and they had planned a fire drill and ended up changing the time for that drill. But we have all of these special drills for severe weather, for fire, or for intruders. And every year, we meet as a team, and that's all the principals and the police chief, the sheriff, many of the officers, SROs. We go over everything that we have. Alex Case is
The
there
EMA
from
directions.
EMA.
Yeah.
And we go over our plans, and we look for gaps and areas that we can improve and enhance the safety of our schools. And so we did that. I don't know if Cody's got a picture of where we met. I think I sent him, not yet, but he's going to show it in a little bit. We had the boardroom full that day when we went through all of our plans. And in Dade County schools, we have a character ed plan, and it's based on the Proverbs of King Solomon, who is a wise man. And he said, plans fail for lack of counsel, So we want to get together and really look at all those plans and see where the problems are and where we can make it better. One of the things that the parents talked about at that parent meeting was improving the security. We have secure doors at 3 of our buildings, and there was a problem at the 4th, and all that's been fixed now. We've got all 4 of our buildings, secured with the, the doorbell and having approval before you access the building. And I think that that's making a big difference.
I have at my office at Dade Elementary, Miss Blevins has got me a very large TV that I get to watch the cameras, and I watch a lot of time the amount of traffic that those intercoms intercept. It's you have to go up to it. The person at the desk has to look at it, and they have to buzz you in. And that is an amazing. Not only do we have the picture of the person coming in, when we know who it is, they can view and see whether they should be coming in or not. And normally, if they don't recognize you, they have a way to talk to you. They can, and that's a very big security measure that could potentially stop a threat before it ever gets in. And I'm glad that we have that system, because a lot of schools that I've been to, even my son's school, doesn't have that type of system, and I wish they would get it, because it's really beneficial.
Well, and do y'all think that most school systems are advanced as Dade County with the camera surveillance system that we have? We have almost 300 cameras in our school system.
No, I personally don't feel like that everybody else is as advanced as we are. That's something that, that almost 300 cameras, and they're not just, cameras like you would see anywhere. They're good cameras. They're good cameras that I can pull it up and full screen it, and it's pretty high def. It's real good stuff, and they're everywhere. And that's a definite benefit, because not only I can be sitting in my office at Dade Elementary and checking on the ladies at Davis, or I can be sitting in my office at Dade and check on the ladies at the high school, and that's same for you. You can be sitting in your office and check on them. So that's a real big plus in my opinion.
And then also the communication. They can just contact us just immediately if there's a problem, and we all hear it, we all know. And, we have certain things that just alert us and let us know that's where we're going, that's where the problem is. So we're really proud of that.
I like the fact that in both of your offices and Alex's case, you have that direct access.
Yes.
You can see on the cameras, and we have the radio system.
Yes.
And when we met, recently after we've had so many meetings, haven't we?
We've had several.
It's hard to say when the last one was, but we're looking at even enhancing that. And so we're going to have a presentation at the board Thursday night. Well, Cody's telling us it's time for a break, so stay tuned, and you're going to get to meet the class president and of the junior and senior class, and we're going to hear from the students about school safety.
Hey, it's that time of the year. Spring is here, and it's time for the seasonal grand opening for Glass Farm Nursery, 4.5 miles south of Trenton on Highway 11. As we gear up for the grand opening for the spring season, Glass Farm Nursery is receiving everything you'll need for the spring planting season. Everything you've come to expect from the area's best, Glass Farm Nursery. We get the season cranked up on Thursday, March 22nd for the spring season at Glass Farm Nursery, just 4.5 miles south of Trenton on Highway 11. We'll see you starting Thursday at Glass Farm Nursery.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Get focused. Get hired.
The Dade County school system continues to put the safety of students first. That's why the Love the Bus Elementary campaign rolls on. Love the Bus is designed to teach students the importance of safety, respect, and proper bus etiquette. As we continue to enhance efforts of safety for our students, we'd like to have you as part of our team. If you're considering a career as a bus driver, call the Dade County Schools Transportation Department at 706-657-7053 today. Part-time hours with full-time benefits as a bus driver for the Dade County school system.
Can you gig it? Oh, yes, you can. We know you've been waiting for a long time, and now Tennessee Valley Net is bringing it to you. Gigabit internet service now available in certain areas of Dade County. Not just fast, super fast internet service now available from Tennessee Valley Net. People are talking, I mean really smiling about gig speed internet available in limited areas from Tennessee Valley Net. Call today at 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net and see if gig speed is available where you are. We know you'll gig it from Tennessee Valley Net. When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Mr. Reuter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. And I'm really excited to be sitting here with two presidents. We have Chloe Peak, who is the president of the senior class at Dade County High School. And then we have Nick Daniels, who is the president of the junior class. So congratulations on being elected by your classmates as the president and serving this year in that important position. And thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, we're focusing on school safety, and of course everybody in America is talking about school safety, and we're not just talking about it, we're concerned about it, we're worried about it. Some people are worried. I've had students who told me they just are scared about someone coming in with a weapon and so forth. And I'm just wondering, you're representing all the students here today to talk about this important issue. How do you feel about safety at Dade County High School?
I feel very safe at school because I've always felt as if the administration and so all the teachers and principals and all that, they take the right measures to make sure we feel safe. They are people that we can trust to keep us safe. I've always felt that way.
I feel the same way. Also, I know some people might still be like concerned because of the things that have recently happened. They would think that it would happen to our school just because, I don't know. But I think I really feel safe in school.
One thing that I noticed, which, it was in the paper, but when a student wrote on the wall and made a threat, a student immediately reported it and went into the principal. And have you heard that phrase, see something, say something?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think that definitely applies to the students at Dade County because we look out for each other. So if there's something that we see that could be problematic, we go and tell someone of higher authority, so to make sure that not only ourselves but everyone stays safe.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's how we're going to take control of these dangerous situations in America is, when we stick together and, address these issues by uniting. There are more good people than there are evil people.
We just see the bad.
Right. We see it. And so I told the middle school students about, see something, say something. I said, if you ever get concerned about something you heard at school or, you just have a bad feeling about something, if you don't want to go and tell your teacher, tell your parent. And, your parent can call and tell a counselor, the principal, a teacher, and just let us know. Did y'all know I used to be a high school principal?
I did know that.
At Huntsville High. Did you say you're from Alabama?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, before I became a superintendent in Alabama, I was a high school principal. But I always promised my students if they ever told me something, I would never tell who told me.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who told you. The fact is you have that information. And I can remember, one day going through the hall and a student just very carefully, handed me a little note in my hand as we passed. And I went in my office and opened it, and it said, so-and-so has a knife. And so, I followed up on that, and we had an SRO in the building too, and we searched that student. Sure enough, he had a knife, And so that student had the courage to go and report, that situation. So, and now, we have an officer in each school. What about having drills? Do your teachers talk about what to do, like, in these situations?
I remember when we had the statewide drill not too long ago.
The weather drill or the lockdown?
The lockdown for when an intruder drill. I remember that morning, and it was not the teacher that I was even going to be with. They got the plan out and read us the plan. And then the next period got to another teacher. Wasn't even going to be there. She got out the plan, and she read it to us. So every teacher made sure that we knew exactly what to do, even in a drill, even if it's not a real situation.
That's comforting, isn't it?
Yes, I remember all my teachers, they were all saying they wouldn't want to be a teacher who had authority to take action, but they would try to protect us as much as they possibly could, just like how the other teacher did in the other situation. I felt really safe. I was like, thanks, man.
Well, most of us, I think that all teachers realize, and support people, whether you're in the classroom or not. When you work in the education arena, you know that your job is to protect children. And there's just something about, protecting the children. And I remember in Alabama when there was a tornado in one of the school systems, they found these two boys covered this girl to protect her, and they both had injuries, but she was protected, And so there's just something about us. We all want to protect each other, don't we?
Yes.
We do. And, having the cameras in school, do you think that's a good thing? We counted up, it's like 276 cameras in our 4 facilities. That's a lot of cameras. And I monitor those. We have several people monitoring those 24/7. And so if if an intruder comes in to steal something, you're going to get caught, because you're going to be on camera. And during the day, everything is on camera. So how do you feel about that?
It makes me feel better because I know that people may think that they are doing something in private, and it's like if they're planning, might be planning something or doing something, and they think they're in private, but we have all those cameras there and the people watching the cameras to know if there's anything concerning that they see or hear that they can take action
to do it.
I know that there was a certain incident where a kid wrote something bad on a poster, and it was kind of serious because it related to another student, and I walked out of the bathroom and I seen it. I didn't notice the writing on it, and then I was called to the office later and found out that there was something written on it, and then they asked me if I seen what was on it or not. And they were getting onto the case after 10 minutes of me going to the bathroom.
Wow.
They were trying to find out who did it.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Well, what advice would y'all have for, parents? You think about when these terrible things happen, people immediately say, well, didn't the parents know? I mean, how did this happen? Do you have any words of wisdom to give us about, students and what you've noticed about relationships, or any advice for parents? How could they be aware of what's going on with their student?
Well, I feel as if at Dade County, we're such a small town that we're very tight-knit. So we know mostly everything that's going on with everybody. So if there's something concerning, I feel like that's what's good about us being such a small school, that we can go tell. But if someone didn't know and the parents asked that question, well, how did no one know about that? I would think that first off, you can't know everything, but I know that all the adults and the administrators do everything possible they can to know everything. But it's impossible for everyone to know everything. But as long as you see the administration and staff taking action to know as much as they can, I think that that's all you can ask for.
Well, what about, like, you know, using social media or texting or even surfing the internet? I mean, do y'all have any, you know, advice about that, like for parents, or maybe what you do at your home? Or how do you think that parents can help support their children to be interacting with others in a healthy way? Any thoughts on that?
I feel like like just having, not kind of like forcing them, I don't know, but like having them or allowing them to be in a position where they can talk to other kids is like really fun. I mean, really nice. Most kids, they really make a lot more friends when they're in sports and stuff like that. It like makes the kid happy, and so they don't want to be like alone. Or even if it's not a sport, like an extracurricular activity, they enjoy doing stuff like that. I mean, I do.
I think that kids get so involved with their phones that your kids don't just need to be talking to people through social media and texting. If they join, like, even like clubs during school that are like FBLA, FCCLA, stuff like that, if they get more involved in stuff like that, then that's going to help them have healthier friendships and healthier relationships through that way.
You know, research shows that students who are involved in extracurricular activities have better grades, better attendance, and fewer discipline problems. So what you're saying, you know, lines up with that perfectly. So anyway, any other thoughts about school safety, or any advice you want to give me, or you know, about the procedures that we have in place? Or are you excited about, I know you'll be graduated. Where are you going to school next year?
I'm going to Paul Mitchell Beauty School in Huntsville.
That's going to be nice. That's where I moved from, in Huntsville. And Nick, you'll be going in another year, right? You said Georgia Tech. And what are you going to study?
Engineering.
That's wonderful. We're proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. And do you like seeing the police officers in the school?
Yes, and we have relationships with them, and I think that's cool because Officer Duvall, he'll be walking down and he jokes around with us, and I think it's awesome that we have them there and that they care to build relationships with us.
It's important, really, isn't it? And to know that, you know, the police officers are our friends, you know, so they're there to protect us. And so in closing, we've got about 1 minute before the show's over, and hey, Cody, can you show the picture of our accreditation? We'll tell everybody back home we're excited about. Let's see, there's the safety meeting that we had with all of the police commissioner, all of the principals, our board members. We had Chief Smith and Sheriff Cross. We were all in there. Alex Case.
A baby.
Right. And we were talking about, you know, school safety, and a lot of those meetings y'all don't even know about. You know, we're up at the board meeting or in different places at the commission building. And this is the picture of your favorite principals right there. We're all holding our accreditation certificates from Advance Ed. We went through accreditation this year, and we're proud to have earned accreditation for the next 5 years. We sure do appreciate you tuning in today to Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. And I want to thank our class presidents, our senior class president, Chloe Peak, and our junior class president, Nick Daniels, for being here to talk with us about safety. So join us again next week on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.